You know those cute little stickers you're always sending in your chats? The ones that seem totally harmless? Well, what if I told you they're more than just fun cartoons? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how they're actually this incredibly powerful marketing tool designed to influence what you buy. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's just get right to it. Here's a pretty wild thought for you. Those emojis and branded stickers you're using, they're ads. Yeah, seriously. They might feel like just a fun, innocent way to show you're laughing or you're happy, but behind the scenes, they are super carefully designed marketing tools.
So that leads us to the real mystery here, right? How on earth does a cartoon character in your chat app lead you actually buying something at the store? I mean, think about it. How does sending a sticker of a cartoon tiger to say, "Great," somehow end up with you putting that brand cereal in your shopping cart? It sounds kind of crazy, but believe me, the path from your phone screen to the checkout aisle is way shorter and a lot more direct than you probably imagine.
All right, so to really unpack this, we've got to go back to basics. We need to understand why brands even use these characters in the first place. Long before we had chat apps or smartphones, brand mascots were being engineered for one very specific purpose: to be the absolute perfect salesperson.
So let's define our terms. What is a brand mascot, really? Well, at its core, it's basically a character that's designed to speak for a product. To give a voice to something that doesn't have one, like a box of tea or a car battery. The mascot's whole job is to give that lifeless product a personality, a face, and to communicate what the brand is all about directly to us.
And here's why they're so brilliant, especially when you compare them to, say, a celebrity endorser. Think about it. A real-life celebrity can get into trouble, right? They can have a scandal that totally tarnishes the brand's image. But a mascot, its behavior is 100% controlled by the company. It will never say the wrong thing. Plus, the brand owns the mascot, so there are no crazy endorsement fees. They are, quite literally, the perfect, risk-free salesperson.
Okay, so we get why mascots work in a traditional sense. But how does all that translate to these little stickers on our phones? Well, lucky for us, a really fascinating study from Bangkok back in 2016 gives us the answer. It really shows the real-world impact of these tiny digital characters. So here's the setup. It was pretty clever. The researchers got 400 people together from all over Bangkok. What they did was they showed them a bunch of popular brand mascot stickers, the kind you'd use every day. And then, right after, they started asking them questions about their shopping habits and how they felt about those brands. Super simple, but a really, really effective way to measure the immediate impact of just seeing one of these stickers.
And the results? Honestly, they were kind of mind-blowing. Get this, 58%. Almost 6 out of 10 people said that just seeing the brand mascot directly influenced their decision to buy the product. I mean, that is a huge impact. We're talking about a direct line from seeing a tiny cartoon on a screen to a real-world purchase. But it wasn't just about the money. The study also found that 62% of people felt more positive, like they had a better feeling about the brand just from using its sticker. So this tells us these things don't just push us to buy something, they're actually building a real, genuine emotional connection.
Okay, so we know that it works. The numbers don't lie. But the big question is, why? How can a simple sticker forge such a strong bond? The study dives into this with a really cool theory they call brand fandom. Let's get into it.
It all kicks off with a fundamental psychological idea called identification. You know that feeling when you're part of a group? Like you're a fan of a sports team or you follow a certain band. You feel like you're a part of something bigger than just yourself. That feeling of belonging, that's identification. And that's the secret sauce for building loyalty.
And this leads to what the researchers called the Reverse Cosplay Effect. I love this. So think about normal cosplay, right? You're already a fan of a character, so you dress up as them. But with these stickers, it's the total opposite. The process is flipped. It starts when you just use a sticker to express an emotion. I'm happy, I'm tired. By doing that, you unconsciously start to identify with that little mascot. That good feeling you have for the character then transfers over to the brand itself, and before you know it, you've become a fan. So when you see that product in the store, buying it feels like the most natural thing in the world.
And this quote from the people who actually wrote the study, it just nails it. They said, a person might hesitate to be a fan of the product, but it is easier for them to be a fan of living objects, such the brand mascot. And that's so true, right? It's kind of weird to say, I'm a huge fan of this insurance company. But to be a fan of a funny little gecko, that's easy. The mascot becomes this friendly bridge between you and this big, faceless corporation.
When you really stop and think about it, this is marketing on a whole other level. We're talking about an invisible influence. It's sitting right there in our pockets, woven directly into our most private, personal conversations with friends and family.
So, why does this matter so much? Well, for one, every single time you use a sticker, it's a little reminder of that brand. A tiny little ad. But it's more than that. These stickers make our digital chats feel more human, more personal. They add emotion. And who is providing that emotion? The brand. In doing so, they've managed to turn our personal conversations into one of the most powerful marketing channels that's ever existed.
So it leaves us with a pretty interesting question. The next time you're in a chat and you reach for a sticker, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what am I really expressing here? And maybe more importantly, who am I expressing it for?